Alright, hello everybody. We're back for another VOD review. This one we're looking at is Florida Mutineers versus Chicago Huntsmen and the Minnesota Rocker home series, the second home series from the first day. From what I know, this series went to Game 5 with Florida ending up taking it in the end, so yeah, let's see how the rest of these games went because I haven't watched them yet. So, first game we have a hard point on, this is Gunrunner, right? Yeah, this is Gunrunner, okay. So let's look at the rotations. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the hills on these 5 are the hills on this map. So right now, Chicago has the spawn for the rotation from P1 to P2. Their goal right now is to keep it. Florida, their goal is to flip it. And whatever happens on the main hill right now happens. I doubt there's going to be more than 15 seconds for just in total captured on this main hill, because the big focus is going to be on Chicago keeping these spawns, Florida flipping these spawns, and what I want to keep an eye on is this area of the map. This tends to be where spawns get flipped, or this side of the map. Either this whole minecart to tracks area or the P4 crates up through to P2 area. So let's see how these happen. Let's see if Chicago can keep the spawns or Florida ends up successfully flipping. But a couple things to note. Pristini, I think this might be Pristini's first time playing against Florida with this new Chicago roster. And on the side of Florida, we have Awakening in here for his first pro game. Coming up from, I think he was on one of Parasite's teams in the AM League. I don't know. But yeah, let's see if each team can successfully do what they plan to do. I have the casters on in the background lightly so we can hear what's happening. But it already looks like Florida's sending most of their pressure to flip the spawn up the blue crate side. Looks like this tracks is just very neglected until now, so Florida sent bodies up this blue crate side. They got wiped. And yeah, RCD's got a 3-piece from that. So Florida then spawns over here at the P3 hill. So they're just gonna fucking send bodies up in here or go through pipes. They're probably gonna send one up here and one through pipes, just yeah. But whoever's going to be going to the back of P2 is going to be important. If they can stay alive, they can probably flip a spawn if they get a kill or two. But let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're sending Awakening on that route. Oh, I just got a message on Skype. But it looks like Awakening is able to get a kill back there. It's actually really good. He's able to get a kill. So he's in this window. He didn't push all the way up, but Awakening was able to get a kill back here. So he's making some noise. Probably gonna spawn for Chicago, probably back here. Or back here. Or yeah, they've still got control of this area, so they're gonna keep spawning here. Florida's probably gonna keep spawning around here. And yeah, as I said earlier, nobody's got control of this hill. This hill is just a fucking mess right in the middle of the map. So yeah, as of right now, Chicago's still holding onto their spawn pretty well. Pristini's able to kill Awakening, so that shuts down this trackside push. And yeah, looks like the map state hasn't really changed all that much. Envoy's got the Uzi. That's interesting, alright. Looks like Chicago, something that they were criticized for. Rightfully so, mind you, there was their rotations. They were a team that, on this what there being 20 seconds left, they would be piling onto the hill from one direction and just letting the other team rotate to the new hill. I don't know why that on full screen, but what I like seeing right now is they're playing passive. We have number 6, number 9, Formal, and Scump playing passive. Envoy spawned up back here. They're playing passive back here, holding a spawn, watching the angles where the Florida players could be coming from. I really like that because that means they hold the spawn, they're holding angles, they're setting themselves up for a very successful P2. And yeah, I really like that play from him. And yeah, so it looks like P2 just popped. Florida is spawning out still. And they're sending bodies up this blue crates. You can see there's 4 people here. And is there 4? No, there's 3 now because Frosty just died. But they're gonna really want to try and break from this side. I like the setup from the Huntsman right now. You have Formal and this head glitch over here. His toes are exposed, so he can get shot from under the under what this fucking train car. They've got 2 bodies in the hill. Number 0, Pristini watching these trains in the middle, and Scump holding down this side of the map. He's looking towards this push because Scump knows that there's everybody pushing this side of the map. So Scump knows that there's going to be nobody over here for a few seconds, so he can take a look over and try to help. Let's see. I want to see how Envoy does with this Uzi. I like to see that there's new guns in. I hope it becomes competitively viable and it's not disgustingly overpowered. But we'll have to see. And you have Formal on the power position, doing the formal things. But where did the Florida players spawn? So they all got wiped up here. And the Florida players just spawned over here. Where did Scump go? Because Scump was over there. Yeah, so Scump just gave that up to collapse over with his team to secure these kills from this blue crate side of the map. And in doing that, yeah, Florida just kind of got the spawn up here. That sucks, but honestly, I still think the Huntsmen are in a good position here. They're still gonna be spawning back here, I think, right? No, they're not gonna. Yeah, they're spawning towards middle. So Mutineers have a decent spawn now. They've pushed in through the back. Huntsmen still have control of the hill. They've still got 3 bodies in here. There's 25 seconds left, and nobody's thought of rotating yet. So we'll see what each team decides to do. Florida pushing for 20 seconds. But they have number 2. They've got Skies on the rotation, and the Huntsman sprinting after him. This is going to be a close fight at this new hill. And Havoc just won that, so... Yeah, Huntsman, again, they waited a while to rotate. They had a really good hold on P2, they waited a while to rotate, and that kind of bit them a little bit. But yeah, let's see how this hold's going. They have Awakening in the hill. Havoc sitting up a little bit to his right over here. Number 4 looking in this room towards water and out the door towards wherever this fucking thing's called. And then they've got number 3 looking middle, number 2 on the crates. And Huntsmen are probably gonna try and break through this track side or through the blue crates side.
And again, you know, very much kind of getting the vibes of Mac in a certain way too. Yeah, early still start for him.
So nothing's too much is happening yet. They're just kind of waiting for RCDs to see if anything's gonna happen, but looks like Envoy's able to slide in behind, get a 2-piece with this Uzi. That Uzi is kind of nasty. I'm gonna need his class after this. I think he posted it on Twitter, or somebody was posting it on Twitter, I don't know. But I'm gonna need that class after this. So Florida ends up with a lead by a little bit of points. Florida has not rotated. Good on Chicago for recognizing and rotating. When did they start this rotation? I want to see. So 20 seconds left on the hill. Chicago spawning out. And yeah, somebody makes a call to just rotate because Florida's spawning about 15 seconds away from the hill. So Chicago, they've got a good spawn. They can just rotate and get a good setup like they did on the second hill, and try to get a bunch of time off this to take the lead back. So, and boy, this fucking Uzi is nice. I like it. And Havoc just runs at him. So it looks like Florida's just fucking sending it. They're just kind of sending it through the forest, and they end up winning the fights. That's a strategy right there. Just send it. It's something that we see pretty often in COD. Just fucking throw bodies at it. Just throw bodies at the hill and pray for a break. But yeah, so Florida was able to break in for a few seconds. They got like 15 or like 14 off it. Huntsmen are able to secure it. They're able to retake with how much time left? With 25 seconds left, Huntsmen are able to retake. And now Florida has a good spawn for the next hill, and they're staying back. So, Huntsman's still going to be down by 11 points, and Florida's got the rotation to the new hill. Huntsmen have control of the mid-map, and Huntsmen are in a good spot to collapse on this hill. They've got whoever this is sat at the old hill, grabbing the scrap time. 2 bodies up this track side of that, 3 now, 1 up from middle and 1 from the forest. They're in they've got a good position to break if they win their fights, but they just have to win their fights first. And we got trades. These trades are beneficial to nobody. Well, they're beneficial to Florida since they're in the hill, but both teams are now spawning out because of Arcides, and I think this is Envoy in the back with him too. But this is great from Chicago, great from Arcides to be honest. Arcides and Envoy for getting into the back and winning their fights. They were able to be sneaky. Arcides with a great 2 kills. If Awakening was able to kill him there, no, was that Pharaoh? If Pharaoh was able to kill him, that probably would have meant Florida keeps control, but Huntsmen are able to win those fights, break in through the hill, and yeah. So the team's gonna, there's something to think about here. There's 18 seconds left. The hill's gonna reset back to the first hill, and as we said at the start, P2 is back here. They're gonna, whoever's, one of these teams is gonna want to spawn back here. I don't know who's gonna get it, but one of them's gonna want this spawn. Well, they both want it, but one of them's gonna get it. And they're both going to be fighting. It looks like Florida recognizes that. 3 and 4, Pharaoh and Frosty, are going back around to maybe play to have Florida spawn back here, because so then they can just, yeah, so they can just have a good little bit of control towards the second hill. Envoy's doing pretty good with his Uzi. I'm liking it. But yeah, we're going back to the first hill. Envoy's just running at people with his little Uzi. I love it. And Florida was able to hold that spawn from the play I mentioned earlier with Pharaoh and Frosty. They were able to secure the spawn for Florida. We'll have to see if Chicago is able to regain control of this spawn. This is P1, so there's going to be probably maybe at most 10 to 15 seconds gained for all the teams here combined. Yeah, it just looks like they're just kind of ignoring the hill. Huntsman put somebody in it for 1 second, but looks like both teams are just more or less ignoring this hill and just playing for the spawns to the second. Florida recognizes that they're keeping their bodies in the back. It's like Chicago was sending bodies up the blue crates, but they looks like Florida is able to hold on from that push. Now Chicago's doing a nice, that was kind of nasty from Pharaoh, but they had a nice push set up with players coming from every lane towards this hill. But Pharaoh's just able to 180 and kill Arcides there, so that's, yeah. That's just tragic when stuff like that happens. But now Chicago's just sending bodies up this blue crate side. They're just playing this very aggressively. Skies is having a nice little spree here. Damn, okay. Well, Skies is able to go down. Huntsman just kept throwing bodies. But Havoc's able to clean up what's there. And Florida's still spawning here. So P3 is coming up. Chicago's got the... I don't know where they're spawning actually. Where's number 6 gonna spawn up? They're spawning at the blue crates, so... Because of that, Huntsman knows that Florida's sending bodies up this tracks. And they're all going to watch this. Number 6 and 7, nice on them to be looking up at this cut here. And number 8, because they know this is where Florida's putting their attention. Envoy, a little bit tragic. Pharaoh was trying to sneak behind with what Envoy did, but... Who was that, 0? Yeah, that was Pristini, is able to weaken him up enough and call him out for Formal to turn on him. But, that's, yeah. Pristini's fucking hopping like a bunny over here in the hill. And this is very scrappy, but Huntsmen have control. They've got the spawn. There's 20 seconds left, so teams are gonna want to rotate. Florida has a good spawn for the next hill, and they're just gonna try and get set up. There's... yeah, Florida... Chicago's gonna be in the lead by 1 to 2 seconds if they hold the rest of this. And... yeah. So Florida's got bodies here. They've got 2. Number 3 and 5. It's Frosty and Havoc. And... yeah, Huntsmen are sending bodies up each lane of the map like they did before. Oh, not up the trackside anymore. They rotated towards middle, but they're sending up bodies towards from the forest and the middle of the map. And yeah, just a pretty standard push, I think, to break this hill. Frosty, that was... oh my god. Yeah, it looks like Chicago's still just throwing bodies at the same place, and Florida's just holding on. But Huntsmen are backing off with 15 seconds left. They're going to hold this rotation to the new hill. I'd assume they're going to get a lot of time off this, as long as they can hold. But Florida's throwing bodies down the middle. Pristini found a 3-piece. That was honestly huge, because he was in green. He found another one, so Pristini's got 4. A split quad feed. And he's got another one. It was a great positioning for him to be there in green. And just winning all of his fights. Even though he's 20 and 32. Oh my god. Oh, that's fine. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, Huntsmen are just winning their fights, you know. It's just kind of a thing with this Huntsman team. They can just kind of flick the switch and just start winning their fights. And then they could just take over the game. Oh my... oh. And Pristini just got 9. Man got 9 in a row. Oh boy. Well, Huntsmen have the rotation to the new hill too. So this was interesting. I was watching Pristini this whole time. But when did Huntsman start this rotation? Alright, so we went back in time like 25 seconds. Huntsmen have control of the hill still. Florida are low-key rotated, but number 8. That's Envoy. He snuck through green, was able to clean up 1, and that got number 9 to spawn there. Why? What? That's fine, I guess. Envoy died right here by Awakening. Awakening turns his head for 1 second, and then Scump spawns right where Envoy died. That's just a MW spawn right there. And then number 8 spawned there again? Envoy spawned there again. Envoy just... what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, well that spawn, that weird spawn just means Chicago has the rotation. Damn, okay. That's that feels bad for Florida. Florida spawning and possibly like the worst spot they could be. Yeah, not the worst spot, but they're not spawning in a good spot. Chicago's gonna want to grab some time off this. If they can grab a good amount of time off this, plus hold the spawns, then that means they can put the game, basically just put the game to rest. Same thing with Florida. But Florida wants to break the spawn, and it looks like Chicago's holding on. Florida's spawning out of P3. It's a big, that's big tragic. Florida's spawning so far out. It looks like Chicago's just not gonna contest this. They realize they need 25 seconds to win. Let's just rotate, get this 25 off the next hill, and yeah, just kind of wrap the game up. Looks like what is this push from Florida? They set some bodies up the track side to break in through this right side door. Alright, well, Florida sets some bodies up the track side. They're able to get into the hill. For now, maybe they can win? Oh, they can win if there's no contest. Yeah, so that would, yeah, so there's that. Huntsmen can win here, Florida can't, so Florida's gonna wanna... Yeah, that's probably... Yeah. Alright, 250, 239. That was very scrappy towards the end, just typical scrappy hardpoint. But, yeah, a couple thoughts from this game. Rotation-wise, Chicago rotated much better than their usual. Than, like, their usual hardpoint play. When they had control of these spawns for P2, they held control of the spawns from the P for basically all of P2. They kind of had control. They didn't have much control on P3, but they had control on P4. No, that's not P3. 3 is here. 4, 5. That's supposed to be a 3. Okay. They didn't have too much control for 3. It was kind of just back and forth with hill control, to be honest. But Huntsmen off the back of Pristini were able to get a very nice hold on P5 over here. They were able to get an extremely nice hold off of, I think it was a 9 spree from Pristini. And yeah, is there a scoreboard? Do I got a scoreboard here? Hello? No? Okay. Well, let me find a scoreboard on Twitter so I can take a look at this. Because I actually want to see what the scores were. Let me find... Is there a scoreboard here? Oh, what's his name? Does Easy Mac have one? Damn. Okay. Well, but either way, let me see. When was the last time we had a scoreboard up? Back here. Alright, so we had the scoreboard up about here. So this is what we gotta work with for now. Because I couldn't find everything from the first game. I couldn't find a scoreboard on Twitter in that quick time I checked. But it looks like, slaying-wise, this is just Huntsman. This is kind of just a Huntsman in control slaying for this game. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching though. Ending thoughts though. Huntsman rotated very well compared to their usual game. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And they were able to outslay And yeah, if they can keep playing their hard points like that, I think they can be very successful. Their rotations are still slightly suspect at some points, but I think it's not something that can't be improved upon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to cover not game 3. Not game 2, sorry. I'll cover game 3. That's attack me. Game 4 and 5 I'll probably cover as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.